Welcome to the first video of the new series, The Business of Magic, designed for magicians, hobbyists, semi-pros and full-time professionals, where I'll be giving you as many tips, tricks and advice that I've managed to learn along the way over the past 5 years in the professional world, 13 years in the magic world and 16 years as being an enthusiast for magic. We'll be discussing so many different things over the course of the next weeks, months and hopefully years. However, today I'm going to give you 5 tips that I recommend for any magician. These are 5 tips that help me out on a day-to-day basis. It's sometimes about mindset and the way my mind is, especially in the magic business world. But this is also for hobbyists too. So let's start with tip number 5. Tip number 5 is every show is completely different. What do I mean by that? You need to think about that way before you start a show. Whether you're a hobbyist doing your first ever show, or whether you're a seasoned professional performing for the 150th time that year, the chances are the audience are coming for the first time. Whether you're doing a stage show or you're at a wedding and you're performing to guests. So when you get there, try and act as enthusiastic as you physically can. The amount of performers that I see that just turn up for the paycheck, I get that is definitely something you should do. However, try and give it the best performance you can. You never know. The CEO of a massive company could be in their audience and an opportunity could just be waiting for you. I used to hear this all the time. However, in the last year, I've had 5 performances which has led into so much. I've performed an Edinburgh Fringe show which has gained me so much out of that one show you wouldn't believe. Not only that, I performed at 4 close-up shows which has led into thousands of pounds worth of work for myself. And that would never have happened if I didn't go to that gig and give it my all and act like it was a new audience. And you also have to remember, this audience could have saved up a lot of money just to come and see you. Because the chances are, if they're booking you for their wedding, or even if they're coming to see you on a stage show, that is their day out and they want to see the best person they physically can. That is tip number 5. Let's go down to tip number 4. Be as kind and as helpful to as many people as you can. I'm trying to do that right now by doing this series. It's my thank you. But if it wasn't for 2 magicians in London for giving me advice 5 years ago when I wanted to start my first magic company, I would have been stuck. I contacted 5 local entertainers. Yes, 5. And all 5 of them didn't give me any advice. 2 of them even said they refused to help local entertainers because they're competitors. And I didn't understand that. I've been lucky enough to be in the magic world for a long period of time. Even the business world for even longer. My parents, my grandparents, my uncles and aunts have all got their own self-employed businesses. And these businesses have all done very well. And how they've done well is from collaboration and working as a team with other people, usually in the same industry. So this is what I didn't understand, why magicians weren't helping each other, especially locally. Now, 5 years on, I'm turning away more shows than I am actually doing. The reason for it is I'm very, very busy. For the next 2 years, I've already got just under 200 shows already booked in, and there's only 52 weeks in a year. So this work I'm passing to a couple of entertainers that have been helping me over the past couple of years. However, the 5 original people that I spoke to could easily be getting thousands and thousands of pounds of extra work every single year. However, I refused to give it to them because they were quite negative and they seemed like they just didn't want to help. But not only that, in the last week or 2, I've had somebody contact myself looking to try and find out what magic to perform for a sportsman's dinner. He's a member of my magic club and of course I wanted to help him, but I was very busy. So instead of ignoring him, or instead of not getting back to him, I messaged him saying within the next week I'll get back to him with the best advice I physically can. That week, every single time I had a minute and I had thought of a trick, I would write it down in a notebook. And then, a week later, I sent him all the tricks that I think would work for him. And hopefully that can help him. But this might gain me help in the long run. If I need advice from him, he'll be more than happy to give it back. Try and be as kind and as helpful to every single person you physically can. Magicians and non-magicians. That leads on nicely to number 3. There is enough work out there for every magician going. And this is the one thing that I believe in, you might not believe in, and a lot of you will not believe in. However, there honestly is. We need to stop fighting against each other, we need to start working with each other. Whether you're just doing a small show, you're doing the Edinburgh Fringe, or you're a nationwide performer, work with other entertainers, collaborate and try and be friends with everybody. There's enough work out there for everyone, and it's not worth all the hassle of somebody trying to fight for shows. I used to try and do whatever I could to get a show, and I realised that there are some local entertainers to me that just would do anything to put you on a pedestal. They would do anything to try and shut you down. And over the last couple of years, I've realised what was the point. Just, there's enough work out there for everyone. Don't be nasty. Don't upset people. Just work together. And I think number 4 and number 3 work nicely together. Number 2, stick at it. No matter what you're working on. Whether it's a new card trick and you're trying your best, just keep sticking at it because you know why you're wanting to do it. You've seen someone perform that effect and thought it was amazing. For me, one of the things recently I've had to stick at is reading. I know it sounds ridiculous. I am very good with numbers, always have been. But when it comes to reading and writing, yes, I am dyslexic. I find it challenging. However, there's so many magic books I want to read, I've just kept at it. And it's got to a stage where the first product I will be reviewing on this channel is a magic book that I've just finished. And for me, every time I read a book, it is honestly a little achievement because I knew 5 years ago I would have struggled to do so. Another thing could be, when I first started 5 years ago, I had 0 pictures of me performing on my website because I didn't have any. Now, if you ask me, I have hundreds and hundreds of them because at every event I go to, I speak to the photographer nicely and tend to get a copy of the photos of me performing magic. Again, I didn't give up at the first hurdle. I made a basic website, I promoted myself, and now I just add to it every single month. And finally, tip number 1 is have fun. Have as much fun as you physically can because you might be thinking, well, that's a generic thing, everybody says that. Well, this is so important because I was speaking to a local entertainer to me recently, a lovely gentleman. He's been in the industry for 42 years, and in that 42 years, he says he's now bored of it. And I was like, how can you get bored of it? There's so many new inventions, products, all the excitement. And he says, well, I'm just getting bored of my show. So I was thinking, what about if you updated it, changed it, or done something slightly different? And he asked me, how do I keep my energy? And I realised it's because I do things differently. I don't just do weddings and corporates, which I class as my bread and butter, the things I'm always doing. I've started doing hosting and promoting products with my magic. I've not only that, I do the comedy clubs at Edinburgh Fringe. I've started doing theatre shows, worked a little bit on television. I've just kept it exciting. And I think that's where the fun is. So try and keep everything exciting. Don't take it too seriously, I think is pretty much what all 5 tips take. It's have fun, dedicate yourself to it, and just don't take it too seriously. There's enough work out there for every single person. Be kind, be helpful, and remember every show is different and you don't know what it's going to lead to. So there we have it, the first video, 5 quick tips. Maybe not my top tips, but there's just 5 quick tips that I've been learning over the years. You might not agree with them all. I probably guarantee a lot of you will not agree with some of them. However, that is the thing about this magic world, and this is the things that I go by to make my business work. I pass work between magicians and eventually I'll get one back that hopefully can work for me. But I don't pass it to the magicians that haven't helped me, and if I help somebody that is now currently 15 or 16 into magic, you never know, when they're 26 they could be the busiest magician in the world. But I'm not just doing it just to get booking after booking, I'm doing it to help people because I really want to. I love this community. I love it more than anything else. I listen to podcasts, YouTube videos and everything day to day. I've kept myself away from the magic community for a while, but I'm still there. I still listen to the Penguin Magic podcast and the Vanishing Ink one, and not only that, I've been listening to Craig Petty a lot and much, much more. There's so many amazing, wonderful magicians out there. So hopefully this YouTube series is going to play a good part. So that is video number 1 complete. What did you think? Give me a little comment in below if there's some questions you would like answered from a professional magician. I will answer them as fast as I physically can. And not only that, give me a little thumbs up and please subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.